Welcome to the darker side of TikTok, where content creators often turn out to be creeps, outlaws, and actual predators. Today we'll talk about an absolutely revolting internet personality who started his TikTok journey with a bang, but soon got exposed for his illegal actions, behavioral misconduct, and extremely problematic personality. Gemini Official is also recognized by the title The Peppermint Guy, was exposed in late 2020 by numerous YouTube and TikTok creators. He allegedly slept with a vulnerable 15-year-old minor and later manipulated her into staying silent.
Months ago, there was a creators event going on in Los Angeles that Gemini was attending. And I had Gemini on Snap and he asked me to come over. The first night he asked me to come over, it was a Thursday, and I said no because I had school the next day. And then the next day he asked me again to come over, and I told him I couldn't go over there, I couldn't drive because I was 15, and I told him that. And a few hours later, around midnight, he asked me to come over again and offered to get me an Uber. I was already in a pretty bad mental space at the time, and I had just had something happen that day that put me into an even bigger hole. So in a moment of weakness, I agreed and I got in the Uber and I went over there. Now, I'm not going to go into details as of what happened in the hotel, but you can probably imagine.
Not only that, throughout his brief internet career, he contacted multiple underage girls, sent lewd photos to his young followers, and forced minors to FaceTime him. He had an abusive pattern where he used to spot underage content creators, follow them, and then invite them to collaborate with him in an Airbnb.
Part 2 of Creepy Gemini. First of all, yes, I did get Gemini Official verified a couple months ago when he was whining to me about how we didn't have a check mark yet and was begging me to go to my TikTok manager and get him verified. I sent her an email and she did. I was the one. Okay, now to the screenshots. Now that I put this up, I realized I didn't have the date, but this is from early January 2019. This was our third conversation. We had FaceTime one time. You can see my messages that I put hearts and stuff because I was just trying to be nice. That does not give him any more reason to flirt with a minor. This was in later February. I would try to not talk to him. You can see already, I'm genuinely uncomfortable. You can tell, like, I'm gonna read the rest of it, you can. Just scratches the surface. I don't have most of the iMessages. I don't have most of the Instagram messages anymore. He was saying I was his everything when I was a minor and he was in college. He's an obsessive creep. He's a creep.
What's even more disgusting is the fact that when he was initially confronted with the allegations, he blamed the victim who came forward, accusing her of defaming him. Today we'll take a deep dive into the story of Gemini Official, a content creator who horribly used his social media influence to exploit minors and become a plague for the entire TikTok community. So who is Gemini Official and how did he rise to fame? Gemini was among the earliest content creators on TikTok, starting humbly before skyrocketing to fame with his engaging content and fun-loving personality. His entertaining videos quickly gained traction, making him a recognizable figure on the platform. While his official TikTok accounts have since been banned, making his earliest content difficult to find, we managed to uncover a few of his original videos that showcase the rise of his online presence.
Dreaming about girls, girls, girls. I was thinking about pizza.
Can I have a peppermint?
You can have a peppermint.
That's too hot for me.
Hey!
I don't like the peppermint.
Oh, read it backwards, go.
All right, T-I-D-D-E.
Did you say T-I-D-D-E-R?
Dang, let me finish.
Titter?
Yeah,
Now, what has subreddits?
titter.
It's not Titter, it's Reddit.
Say your ABCs really fast, man. Go.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z.
Did you say elemental P? It's L-M-N-O-P.
Let me show you something crazy.
Okay.
Say this word 3 times fast.
Ocean, ocean, ocean.
Ocean, 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 good. Okay, do you prefer showers or baths? Say it out loud, showers or baths?
Showers.
Okay, good. What do you use to brush your teeth?
Toothpaste.
And a
Toothbrush.
toothbrush, good. Okay, I want you to think of any color. Double tap the screen when you thought of the color.
Blue.
You thought of blue. Look at the ring.
Spell corn backwards. Go.
N-R-O-C.
N-R-O-C.
Dang, let me finish.
Rock. Now, what's the best vegetable in the market?
Narok.
It's not in rock. It's corn.
Most of Gemini's content was focused on comedy skits, duets, and lip syncs with exaggerated expressions. It was evident that people liked and enjoyed his videos because all through 2018 and 2019, his followers and viewership were steadily increasing. He reached the point where he was known as one of the notable creators on the platform. His first TikTok account, named @GeminiOfficial, amassed over 3.7 million followers in the span of just 2 years. As far as we know, he created his TikTok account in 2018, and by the end of 2020, he had a verified account with millions of likes and followers. The first viral moment that made Gemini a sensation on TikTok happened sometime in 2019. If you've been on TikTok since its creation, you must have heard of the peppermint trend, the one with the song, "Can I Have a Peppermint?"
Can I have a peppermint?
You can have a peppermint.
That's too hot for me.
Hey!
I don't like the peppermint.
You don't like the peppermint?
No, it's too spicy.
TikTok is usually buzzing with creators hopping on viral trends. On a platform where following trends is the norm, being the originator of one is a major achievement for any content creator. Gemini, knowingly or unknowingly, started a viral trend that cemented his influence on TikTok. It all began when Gemini uploaded a seemingly random video featuring a clown-faced person dancing to the Peppermint song. What started as a simple post quickly gained traction, and before long, the trend exploded across the platform, with numerous TikTok followers recreating the dance.
Can I have a peppermint?
You can have a peppermint.
That's too hot for me.
Hey!
I don't like the peppermint.
You don't like the peppermint?
No.
Gemini himself recreated this viral trend with his friends and followers.
Can I have a peppermint?
You can have a peppermint.
That's too hot for me.
Hey!
I don't like the peppermint.
You don't like the peppermint?
No, it's too spicy.
We can say that this was the only good thing that happened in Gemini's extremely short online career. Soon after this trend went viral and Gemini's viewership skyrocketed, the allegations against him started to surface all over the internet. 2020 was generally a hard and haunting year for everybody. But for Gemini, this year was a little bit more atrocious. In August 2020, a girl named Ruby came forward through her TikTok, claiming that Gemini was a creep who FaceTimed her, blatantly flirted with her, and invited her to stay with him in an Airbnb, all while knowing that she was merely 16. This girl, with an account named @RubyTheAwesomeTurd, uploaded a series of videos discussing the questionable nature of her interaction with Gemini. It's important to mention that Ruby's TikTok account is now deleted, along with all the videos she posted against Gemini. However, a YouTube channel archived all of Ruby's videos regarding Gemini. So this is the very video that Ruby posted on her TikTok account.
Can I have a peppermint?
You can have a peppermint.
That's too hot for me.
Hey!
I don't like the peppermint.
You don't like the peppermint?
No, it's too spicy.
In this video, Gemini can be seen asking Ruby to FaceTime him, and even inviting her to meet up in person. However, since Gemini had already built a considerable following, many people refused to take Ruby seriously. Instead of acknowledging her claims, a large portion of the TikTok community, both creators and general users, turned against her, accusing her of defaming a well-known influencer and using the screenshots as a publicity stunt. Adding fuel to the fire, Gemini responded to Ruby's video by denying all allegations and painting himself as the victim. In a calculated move, he twisted the narrative to make Ruby appear as the one trying to stir up drama for attention. His response only emboldened his supporters, further discrediting Ruby and making it even harder for the truth to be heard.
What's up, guys? Let me address this so that it can literally go away, because I don't do controversy and I hate drama. Ruby just posted a video of me flirting with her and other girls that I've known within my life. One, these screenshots of me flirting with Ruby just happened last night, and I knew something was up. No, I didn't know Ruby was 16, and how the conversation started was actually really weird. She was flirting with me and I was flirting back, but I was also asking her questions about Theo because I thought that they were still together, but it turns out that they'd broken up. So then I asked how old she was, and then she said she was 16, and I was like, okay, Ruby, like, why are you acting so weird in the first place? Because we don't even talk. So I knew she was up to something, and then she started like leaving me on red, so I wanted to see what she was up to. So yes, I did flirt with her again, one more time, to see what she was doing. And she literally was in her Discord trying to set me up. So to further explain my reason reasoning. Nowhere in Ruby's page or on her Instagram like description or anything does she say that she's 16. If I had known that, none of this would have ever happened in the first place. And it should have never happened, but I don't watch Ruby's videos, so I would have never known. She followed me one day, so I followed her, and that's how it was. I invited her to be in this TikTok house, but then she told me that her parents wouldn't let her. And also, all those screenshots were before I had asked her. I love how she didn't screenshot me asking her how old she was and telling her that she needs to stop. It was literally a setup, so I never knew. And so then there's a screenshot of me sending my abs to a woman, and the pictures itself, the conversation is literally over a year old. And then on the screenshot it says, Gemini, this you, pretty sure she's 13. She's not 13. I'm pretty sure I don't even have 13-year-olds on my Snapchat. Even then, I don't even remember what happened, what my conversations were over a year ago. And I guarantee you, she probably never even told me she was 13. I'm not gonna lie. I do comment on girls' TikToks and I flirt and compliment because that's what they deserve. They deserve compliments. They deserve to know how amazing they are. And then, you know, you don't want to go too far, so you check the description or somewhere where it says that they're however old they are, or you can check famous birthdays. And then you'll see in some cases, I'll comment, be like, never mind, she's 16, blah, blah, blah. Look, guys, I'm just trying to live my life, be happy, have fun. I'm literally just trying to live my life. And I hate that there's haters who want to do everything that they can to bring somebody down because they're not in their position. Or maybe that's not even the case. Maybe they just, I don't know, whatever they have, whatever, I don't know. People are just weird, honestly. Like, it's just sad, honestly. And you guys know that I love you, and I'm so grateful for where I am. So I would never do you guys wrong. Again, I don't do controversy. I want to spread love and laughter. So I'm sorry to anyone that I hurt, but yeah, that's the truth.
So this was Gemini decoding the entire controversy. What's unnerving is how calm, logical, and believable he sounds in this video. Despite providing no concrete proof to back his claim that he was unaware of Ruby's age, he successfully managed to convince many on the internet that Ruby was the one in the wrong, painting himself as the victim of her supposed clout-chasing tactics. His demeanor and confident tone made it seem like he had all the answers, which is precisely what made his manipulation so effective. It's also crucial to highlight that Gemini openly admitted to flirting with Ruby to figure out her intentions and inviting her to collaborate without knowing her age. This is undeniably shady behavior. But unfortunately, because of his established credibility on TikTok, many chose to defend him at the time. His fan base seemed blinded by his persona, disregarding the red flags that were clearly visible. Adding fuel to the fire, a creator named @TianaCharlie jumped into the conversation with a video accusing Ruby of defaming Gemini, claiming that she had led him on and twisted his words for the sake of clout. This only further complicated matters and further polarized the community, with people continuing to take sides in a situation that was increasingly clouded by manipulation and misinformation.
Part 2. Why'd you break up with Theo? Oh, because of distance. Alright. So then they went on FaceTime. So he was probably coming in smooth, talking about something. You cute, shawty. You the baddest. And at that point, you should be like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm 15 years old. But thanks for the compliment. And that's it. Just so you can remind him of your age. And then if he kept going, then he would be considered a pedophile. She's probably like, oh my god, you're cute too, which is leading him on. So he invited her to an Airbnb, but obviously it wasn't just her. It was him, her, and a bunch of other creators. But she made it seem like, oh, he was trying to just invite her. No, sis. So he goes in and says, you're exposing me. You know, multiple people told me and I get it. But I didn't know how old you was, but now I know. I kind of backed off. So sis, what are you reaching for? The stars, the moon, what do you want?
She was not the only creator who came in support of Gemini. People like Papa God and @MrBrune0 also defended Gemini, only to find out a few months later that he was indeed a sexual predator, and everything Ruby said was probably true. Amidst the growing backlash, Ruby also uploaded a few more videos showing some more screenshots and trying to prove her case.
2, there's no evidence at all in his videos, whereas in my video, I have screenshots. 3, he makes me seem like the bad guy, which I'm not. This takes a lot of fucking courage to go on a social media platform and try and take down a bigger creator that is literally flirting with minors. He literally admitted it in his video. he was flirting with a 16-year-old girl, and he's 20. Last night, he would not stop harassing me to FaceTime him, and I obviously did not want to. Last night, you can see that he really wanted to FaceTime me, and I didn't want to. FaceTime me. Come on with the FaceTime. FaceTime. I really just need you guys to send this stuff to TikTok room because I sent them the videos of the FaceTimes, and they'll post them, and it's disgusting. I really need you guys to believe me, please. Also, you guys notice how in the videos, he literally just, he's making me seem like the bad guy. He doesn't show any proof. And he keeps continuing. He's like, guys, I love you guys. You're sick, Ruby. Like, what are you doing with your life? Like, making me seem like the bad guy. But he's literally flirting with the mind. I screenshotted this, that he wanted to stay with me in an Airbnb. This was a while ago when I only had, like, 100K. Like, maybe a little less. So I was like, this is sick. Like, a guy with 1 million followers. Like, he wants me to stay with him. So obviously I thought it was cool. Then he said, why'd you screenshot? And I said, because I wanted to show my friend that I had you on Snapchat because I thought it was cool, because I'm not just going to tell him. And then he texted me, he said, we should collab soon. And I said, what would you want to do? And he sent, meet up. Ew.
At this point, no matter how hard Ruby tried, people remained steadfast in their belief that Gemini was innocent, accusing her of attempting to frame him. To clear her name, she created another video emphasizing that he was the one who had approached her and initiated the conversation. To back up her claims, she also shared screenshots proving that Gemini was fully aware of her age while speaking to her. However, despite the evidence, many continued to defend him, refusing to acknowledge the truth.
This is the last time we talked, July 21st. And now, it says yesterday, he started the conversation, he said something first. Therefore, he initiated the conversation asking about my ex. Second of all, this proves that he knew my age. He literally says right here, at first I didn't know how old you were, and then he knew my age, and then he still complimented me. He literally called me a cutie, and he wanted to FaceTime and asked me if I wanted to talk after he knew I was 16. I really need you guys to listen to me and to believe me on this, because I literally have all the proof. This guy does not have any proof. Like, come on guys, seriously?
In the end, Ruby just deleted her TikTok along with all the videos she created against Gemini and gave up on the entire thing. A few months after this controversy, a lot of other content creators started speaking against Gemini, and a plethora of evidence started surfacing. These girls, merely 19 to 20 years old, came forward through their TikTok accounts, claiming that Gemini inappropriately interacted with them when they were underage. Interestingly, Gemini invited a lot of these girls to stay with him in an Airbnb and make TikTok content. Among the mass of these girls who spoke about Gemini's pedophilia, a 15-year-old girl named Lily remains strikingly prominent. The reason? She did not just accuse Gemini of flirting with her, but she claimed that he allegedly slept with her in a hotel room. She posted a video on her account @STFulily, recalling that she met Gemini at a creators event in LA. They talked to each other for a while on FaceTime and Snapchat, and Gemini invited her to hang out with him in a hotel room. According to Lily, she told Gemini that she was a minor and was not allowed to drive. Upon hearing this, Gemini offered to pay for her Uber, and she accepted it.
There was a creators event going on in Los Angeles that Gemini was attending. And I had Gemini on Snap, and he asked me to come over. The first night he asked me to come over, it was a Thursday, and I said no because I had school the next day. And then the next day he asked me again to come over, and I told him I couldn't go over there, I couldn't drive because I was 15, and I told him that. And a few hours later, around midnight, he asked me to come over again and offered to get me an Uber. I was already in a pretty bad mental space at the time, and I had just had something happen that day that put me into an even bigger hole. So in a moment of weakness, I agreed, and I got in the Uber and I went over there. Now, I'm not going to go into details as of what happened in the hotel, but you can probably imagine.
This is by far one of the most serious allegations against Gemini. Unlike the previous accusations, this time Gemini did not deny the claims. Instead, he immediately confessed to his actions and issued a half-hearted, insincere apology in an attempt to save face. In his so-called apology video, he once again insisted that he did not know the girl's real age. However, even after he eventually found out, he shamelessly continued talking to her, fully aware of the legal and moral implications of his actions. Rather than taking full accountability, he attempted to shift the focus by playing the mental health card, stating that he was planning to seek therapy and work on himself. This response followed a predictable pattern: a vague apology, an attempt to excuse his actions, and a promise of self-improvement that seems more like damage control than genuine remorse. Instead of addressing the gravity of his crimes, Gemini once again tried to manipulate public perception.
I'm just gonna make a series of videos just explaining and owning up and taking accountability. As many of you know, there's been a bunch of drama going down, particularly with this girl named Lily. Now, I'm not going to explain the story because I'm sure that there's many stories around everyone's accounts or on people's Twitches or whatever, but basically I got with this girl and she's 15 years old. Now, I do want to say that I really didn't know that she was 15 when I got with her, but I paid for her Uber, she came and hang out with me, we got with each other, and that was a situation. After the fact, I found out that she was 15 and I still kept talking to her. So much so that I asked to FaceTime fuck, which is completely disgusting. Hey guys, so I'm just gonna now of course I know this is a serious situation, and I know that a lot of people go through serious situations like this. People were asking me, well, why did you keep her in your phone? Why did you keep talking to her? And it was because I didn't want to block her or run away. I know that what I did was wrong, and I made sure that she was okay because I didn't know. And I kept her in my phone because if she wanted to go legal or take action or talk about the situation, she has my information to do so. So why did you ask her to FaceTime fuck after you knew how old she was? I don't know. I can't answer that. Super disgusting of me, and I've never really done that to anybody. Of course I flirt, and of course I can be excessive, but I never forced this girl to do anything, or I never manipulated her or built a relationship with her at all. I do care about her health, and I do care about people's well-being. Now, of course, I go after kids. No. Do I intentionally attack or use or go after TikTok children? No. I am sorry to Lily and her family and to any of other creators or people who have been affected by this whole situation. I never meant for any of this to happen, but I made it worse by not going about it in the correct way. And I ended up victimizing and manipulating my audience, and that's not what I intended to happen. I was upset because I had put my family in danger over my mistake. And I did try to kill myself because this isn't who I am, but everybody thinks that I'm this bad person, and that's just not who I am.
Now, two things are fundamentally wrong in this video. First, Gemini claimed that he did not make Lily do anything she did not want to do. Well, she was only 15 and unable to give consent. Even if she willingly went to Gemini's hotel, it would still not count as giving consent and negate the fact that he exploited her. Another thing worth mentioning is that he clearly said that he does not inappropriately interact with TikTok children, which is a bald-faced lie. We'll see further in this video that many girls came out speaking against Gemini, recalling how he flirted with them knowing that they were minors and made them super uncomfortable. After this apology, Lily posted another video on her TikTok account attaching some screenshots that showcased how Gemini manipulated her into staying silent. These screenshots are deeply unsettling. On one hand, Gemini's issuing apologies, pretending to be the good guy. On the other, he threatened Lily, implying that he would kill himself if she took legal action, an obvious manipulation tactic. Even more disturbing is how he suggested that they would both face legal consequences if she went to the authorities. He knew she was a vulnerable teenage girl, and that if she reported him, he was the one who would be in real trouble. Yet despite being fully aware of the situation, he chose to gaslight her, attempting to shift blame and silence her. This level of manipulation and cowardice is beyond pathetic. Gemini not only fooled his fans and followers with his manipulation tactics, but also deceived and lied to many of his friends. When the controversy with Ruby broke out, the majority of content creators supported and defended Gemini. Two of those creators were Papa Gut and Miss Bruno. Now, after the truth unfolded and they realized they'd been lied to, their reactions were extreme.
Seeing as videos of this nature have been taken down multiple times by TikTok, I'm going to say this once and I'm going to say this loud and clear. And if this gets taken down again, I will repost it over and over and over until I am banned from posting, because I won't allow this man to go by on this app unpunished and unscathed. Gemini official, you disgust me. You took advantage of a 15-year-old girl, a child. You lied to me and manipulated me into believing you and taking your side, and then you blamed your actions on her. You don't deserve your platform, you don't deserve your wealth, you don't deserve your success, you don't deserve sympathy, you deserve nothing. You have abused the power of your platform to use children for your own sick desires. Never, ever speak to me again.
Gemini official. I have a very deep involvement with this. Because a lot of people always go, why did Gemini? Why Gemini and not Tony Lopez? It infuriates me to no end because a lot of people I know have been deplatformed by going after Gemini. I lost a lot of, I guess you'd call it, traction. I didn't, whatever. I got multiple reports and whatnot for going after him. A lot of people spoke up. It took a tremendous amount of effort just to get him off of social media. So you need to understand that Gemini official may be the worst person on this list.
I don't
only comparable
understand
to EDP.
why people are not going after this person with pitchforks.
Because they don't care.
Papa Gut dedicated numerous podcasts to discussing Gemini's disturbing behavior, exposing his actions, and breaking down the severity of his misconduct. Alongside him, Miss Bruno is also actively speaking out against Gemini, despite initially being friends with him. They were continuously raising awareness about his weird fetishes and trying to remove him from the platform. Amidst this growing backlash, Gemini privated his TikTok account and went missing in action for a while, but this did not help his case at all. In his apology video, Gemini also mentioned Papa Gut and Miss Bruno.
But I do need to apologize to everyone because at this point, everybody deserves an apology. I'm sorry, Lily and your family. I'm sorry that I hurt you in any type of way. I never meant to. I'm sorry, Papa Gut. I lied straight to your face and I tried to manipulate you and I made you angry and upset and I didn't listen to you. I'm sorry, Mr. Bruno. I also lied to you, man. And I know that I messed up our friendship severely. And I know that I made you really upset, which was never intended at all. I love you, man. I love your videos and I love collaborating with you. I'm sorry to my audience. You guys mean the world to me. I'm sorry that you guys had to see me in this way, but this isn't who I am. I'm sorry that I tried to manipulate you guys. I'm sorry that I kept arguing with a lot of you and being petty.
As Papa Gut pointed out, deplatforming Gemini took an immense amount of effort. Anyone who dared to speak out against him risked getting banned or having their videos deleted. Ruby attempted to expose his manipulative tactics, only to have her account permanently removed within months. STFU Lily also didn't remain on TikTok for long after posting videos against him, as the platform's moderation system seemed to work more in favor of protecting problematic creators rather than those exposing them. Miss Bruno also took it a step further as he personally reached out to Gemini's victims, gathered evidence, and compiled everything into a multi-part TikTok series. However, despite his thorough efforts, TikTok took down his videos within minutes, preventing crucial information from spreading. The repeated takedowns of content exposing Gemini led many to believe that TikTok's algorithm was suppressing discussions about him, making it harder for victims and advocates to bring attention to his misconduct. In one of his videos, Miss Bruno highlighted numerous TikTok accounts that had spoken out against Gemini. Sadly, most of those accounts are now deactivated or permanently removed, erasing significant pieces of evidence. Since the Gemini fiasco happened 4 years ago, much of the digital trail has either disappeared or become difficult to track. Many of the victims, having moved on with their lives, are no longer active on social media, making it nearly impossible to reconstruct a complete picture of his wrongdoing.
What the f? I spent literally hours today, compiling different accounts, different screenshots, different stories of people who have had bad experiences with Gemini Official to show that he is not the man he wants you to think he is. I wanted to bring volume to these voices. I wanted these stories to be heard. I wanted these people to feel represented. I was almost 100% positive it did not in any way violate any guidelines. Within 10 minutes, both of them taken down. I don't even know what to say, TikTok. Here were the accounts listed in the video and their stories. Jade Candan, Yeah, I'm Caroline, Jonathan Moss, Anti-Steezy, Soy Savas, Fair Hopes Herps, Cheese Flavored Jewel Pod, Possum Queen, and Klutz McButts. Please go to these counts, support them, believe them, be there for them. They need to be.
However, not all traces of his past have vanished. A few content creators who had verified accounts and large followings at the time still have videos documenting his actions, ensuring that at least some evidence remains available. These creators played a crucial role in keeping the conversation alive, preventing Gemini from slipping into obscurity without accountability. One of these creators is named Hawk. She has a solid following of over 5.5 million, so whatever we're about to show is coming from a highly credible source. She posted a video on October 5th, 2020, claiming that she mutually became friends with Gemini on social media, and he followed her on all her accounts. After staying silent for a while, he approached her and started weirdly complimenting her, knowing that she was a minor. Not only that, she also sent her some questionable photos and, following his deeply disgusting and weird pattern, invited her to collaborate with him in an Airbnb. After these unwanted interactions, this creator became super uncomfortable and blocked Gemini from all social media accounts. But this was not enough for Gemini, as merely a few days later, he contacted her again through DM.
Gemini Official, you disgust me.
Now, since this is finally coming out, let me tell you my story between me and Gemini. So I became friends with Gemini mutuals at the beginning of this year, so back in January. He proceeded to follow me on all my social media and not speak to me for a while, but until a few months ago. On every Snapchat I made, he would reply with, hey cutie, wow, you look so fine, and all these other really uncomfortable things. I was a minor. He proceeded to follow up with that, saying he wanted to collab with me in an Airbnb. This led to unwanted photos and him manipulating me. This went on for a few days until I blocked him on all social media. Oh, but guess what I got in my Instagram DMs? Pause to read. And you wonder why you lost friends. It's because of what you did to minors and me.
She's not the only person who came out against Gemini. Following her lead, numerous creators reported inappropriate and uncomfortable interactions with him. It's extremely sad and unnerving that most of these videos are now deleted. Not only that, we can't reach out to the account holders, as the accounts are also either banned or deleted. What's troubling is the fact that most of the people who spoke against Gemini reported that he asked them to meet him in an Airbnb. Despite his claims that he was arranging a TikTok house and an Airbnb where he invited many creators, it's concerning that he was reaching out to underage TikTokers whom he barely knew. And we know the last time someone accepted his invitation, they ended up being exploited, threatened, and manipulated. It's good that these girls did not accept his invitation, realized that he was a creep, and exposed him on social media. However, some creators were still adamant that Gemini should be left alone. A TikToker named Tiana Charlie, whom we mentioned previously, uploaded an update video somewhat speaking in favor of Gemini and telling people to move on.
Update. So Gemini Official updated his profile and said, I'm at therapy. We'll make YouTube video addressing, accepting, and not running. Just not right now. I still stand with everything I said in my last video. Ruby did set him up and was using him for clout. A lot of underage girls have been coming out exposing Gemini for setting them boots or thirst traps while knowing their age. But they had proof. Ruby barely had any proof, and she just twisted the words and manipulated it. That's what I feel. So he made a video, but he deleted it, and he said that he often forgets to ask girls their age. Now, if you just forget to ask their age, just start asking it. You don't need to go to therapy. Now, if you go to therapy, I feel like it's a deeper issue where you find pleasure in talking to young girls. There is no need to cancel Gemini. He's going to therapy. He's getting himself fixed. No, move on. Ruby, this you?
So according to this lady here, there is no need to cancel Gemini, a problematic person who has a history of exploiting minors and can also harm children in the future. Just because he's getting therapy does not mean that we should all start trusting him blindly. he is still a threat to underage people using TikTok. Moreover, highlighting the fact that Ruby once used a racial slur in her video was completely unnecessary at this point. What Ruby said was horrible, there's no doubt about it, but this does not damage her credibility and make her any less of a victim. However, some people felt remorse for how they treated Ruby when she first tried to tell the truth. One verified and notable TikTok creator named Khalil posted a video reacting to the controversy on his account. Below this video, numerous people commented in support of Ruby and showed concern for her. One of the comments read, "We did too much when Ruby came out with her story," because one of her friends said on Papa Gut's stream that she was crying the whole day. Another comment said, "Can you check up on Ruby for us? Make sure she is safe. She hasn't posted." Khalil replied to this comment saying, "I've been checking up on her, and she's not doing the best, or her family, from the stuff y'all did to her. Not my place to say what happened, but what happened to Ruby reminds us that we should not just outright blame the victim before digging for the truth. As Gemini had a considerable following at the time, and Ruby was just a budding creator, many people deduced that she was stirring up drama for clout. She showed screenshots and proof of Gemini's misconduct, but people were blinded by his illogical explanations. But the good thing is, the truth did not stay hidden for long, as other creators backed up Ruby's claims. During this time, people were actively trying to remove Gemini from TikTok. To save himself from the growing backlash, Gemini not only kept his account private, but turned off comments on almost all of his videos. Next, people discovered that Gemini was not only an internet creep, but he was also arrested in college for sexually harassing and assaulting an individual. An account named @KlutzMcButts posted multiple TikToks, revealing that Gemini was a student at her college and had multiple sexual assault charges. She also shared a mugshot of Gemini as proof that he was indeed arrested on a sexual harassment charge. The account of this individual is now deleted, but Papa Gut reviewed her TikToks on her YouTube channel, along with the statements of various other survivors.
Michael's comment section, and I also used to blow up Gemini's comment section, but nobody really noticed or cared, so I decided to just block him instead. But me and Gemini used to go to the same college, Northwestern State University in Louisiana, and he was an RA at my apartment complex, and he used his power as an RA to break into the pretty girls' apartments and wait for them to come home and stuff. And he had been expelled from NSU. He was reported to Title IX like over 15 times by the girls here. He was in a science class of mine about a year ago, and he would turn around and stare at me for sometimes the entire class period. I just got from a guy who duetted my video and posted this, and it's a lot more clear on his duet, and I'll tag him in the caption. But this is the proof for anything that I've said about like him being an RA or anything. I don't have, proof, like physical proof for that. My roommate was an RA, and she would come home and she would tell me about it. And, rumors flied around NSU, like, as soon as it happened. And I did come out about it as soon as I found out it happened, and I did talk about it. I commented on all his videos, but nobody really cared, so I gave up.
Another creator who came forward with her own story was @YeahI'mCaroline, a well-known TikTok influencer with over 9.9 million followers. In October 2020, she posted a series of TikToks discussing her experiences with Gemini, revealing that she was his first trend on the platform and even played a role in getting his account verified. In her videos, she shared how she had multiple uncomfortable interactions with Gemini and backed up her claims with screenshots. Disturbingly, she was a minor at the time of their conversations, yet Gemini persistently bombarded her with inappropriate compliments, making their exchanges deeply unsettling. Her revelations further highlighted Gemini's pattern of targeting underage girls.
Hi, I'm Caroline, and I was one of Gemini's first creator friends on this app, and I was the one to get him verified. Let's talk about Gemini. I know so many stories now about so many girls that he's messed with. One of the most terrifying ones that'll probably never come out because she's too scared to talk about it. If you can't hear their stories, at least you can hear mine. Gemini was one of the first creators I'd ever really talked to on the app. I put him in one of my very first creator chats that I made on Snapchat. I was a junior in high school and he was already in college. And he is so creepy, to the point whenever I met him at Playlist, I was genuinely scared to talk to him. Actually, when I spotted him in one of the Airbnbs at Playlist, I tried to turn around and run the other way. I have screenshotted proof of all the creepy stuff he said to me as a minor. As I was screenshotting it because I had to add him back on Snapchat, a couple of minutes ago. He was profusely apologizing. He realized I was taking the screenshots, and when I didn't stop, he was like, Jesus. I'll be posting a part 2 with all the screenshots. 2 of creepy Gemini. First of all, yes, I did get Gemini official verified a couple months ago when he was whining to me about how we didn't have a check mark yet and was begging me to go to my TikTok manager and get him verified. I sent her an email and she did. I was the one. Okay, now to the screenshots. Now that I put this up, I realized I didn't have the date, but this is from early January 2019. This was our 3rd conversation. We had FaceTime one time. You can see my messages that I put hearts and stuff because I was just trying to be nice. That does not give him any more reason to flirt with a minor. This was in later February. I would try to not talk to him. You can see already, I'm genuinely uncomfortable. You can tell, like, you wanna read the rest of it, you can. Just scratches the surface. I don't have most of the iMessages. I don't have most of the Instagram messages anymore. He was saying I was his everything when I was a minor and he was in college. He's an obsessive creep. He's a creep.
In her next video, Caroline mentions someone named Jaden and how Gemini had sexually engaged with her while she was heavily intoxicated. Not only that, he kept badgering her with creepy texts after their encounter, making her scared and super uncomfortable.
Someone's still defending Gemini and telling me my situation wasn't even that bad. Me telling my story about what happened to me back in early 2019 with Gemini wasn't to be like, oh, I'm a victim. It was to further explain how much of a creep he is and how long he's been doing this. In the previous video, I mentioned that he did something extremely messed up to one of my friends, and because of that video, she texted me and was like, oh, okay, and posted a multiple part series about exactly what he did to her. Her name is @JadenCanDance, and she tells the whole story of how he took advantage of her while she was under the influence of alcohol. She has pictures of the bruises he gave her. She has screenshots of the excessive creepy text that he sent her afterwards. I was kind of curious at Playlist why he wasn't messing with me. It turns out it's because he was fixated on Jaden. I knew about this whole situation back in early March, but I wasn't allowed to talk about it because she was too scared to talk about it. Don't invalidate me for coming out about what happened to me because other victims can come out too because they feel validated.
So this girl named Jaden, through her TikTok account @JadesWorld, posted a multi-part series revealing her extremely problematic encounter with Gemini. She accused Gemini of some serious and intense things. According to Jaden, Gemini took advantage of her while she was heavily drunk and intoxicated. The next day when she confronted him and called him out, he blamed her for everything like he usually does with his victims. For a while, she was extremely scared to talk about this incident, but Caroline's video gave her the validation she needed, and she chose to shame Gemini for his disgusting actions publicly.
This is a message for Gemini and Gemini only. So if you're not Gemini, you can still listen. I don't really mind. So, just because you didn't know her age doesn't mean it's all gonna go away because you apologize. Something else we need to talk about. If a girl is drunk and you're sober and she's calling you, saying that she wants you, that doesn't give you a pass to go in because she says yes. She's intoxicated, mate. That isn't real consent. And the fact you had the audacity to blame her after she called you out, it's disgusting. I was Gemini quite a bit at Playlist. We made a couple videos. A lot of people were shipping us together, which I wasn't quite happy about. I introduced him to a lot of my friends as a friend, and a friend only. Yet he still continued to flirt with me and be very overly touchy and clingy with me. When I go to these events, I like to see my friends, collaborate, but I felt like I couldn't do that because I was always tied down to him. This is where things start to get a little bit messy. I'll do a part 2. Okay. Part 2. So you guys heard me talk about an intoxicated girl that Gemini took advantage of. So I'm going to talk about that quick. It was the last night at Playlist and somebody threw a little get together in a hotel room where they had some drinks. This girl was drinking and got a little bit too drunk. So this girl, she was very drunk and it was getting late and she just wanted to go to bed. So she called Gemini because she thought she could trust him to drive her back to our hotel room. Now Gemini, he was sober and he knew that she was drunk because she told him, and I mean you could smell it on her. He drives her back to our hotel room, takes her into her hotel room and takes advantage of her. She then flew back the next day and he was already telling her that he was in love with her. He would spam her with FaceTime calls, text her. So after she flew home and was just completely fed up with all these calls and texts that Gemini was throwing at her,
She texted him and called him out and told him what he did was wrong. And boy, what he said. You wanted it. It was your fault. Mate, she was drunk. She didn't know what she wanted. She didn't know if she wanted pizza or a burger. She didn't know what was right or left. She couldn't even walk in a straight line. Now, I already know that the people telling me that this isn't my issue to talk about is wondering how I know all of this. But I know this because this is my story. I've been too scared to talk about it. I haven't even told my parents yet. I don't know how to tell them. My parents trusted me to go to playlist on my own, to have a good time, and that happened. At this point, and he's already telling me that he loved me. Did I say it back? No.
At this point, Jaden had already made it clear that she wanted nothing to do with Gemini. Despite her outright rejection, he continued to pursue her relentlessly, to the extent that it bordered on harassment. She had explicitly told him that she was disgusted by his actions, yet he refused to respect her boundaries. There was absolutely no justification for him to keep contacting her, making his persistence not just unwanted, but deeply troubling and inappropriate. What Jaden shared in her next video was extremely problematic. She revealed that Gemini had been very aggressive with her during their encounter, and she had multiple bruises on her legs and arm.
These are the pictures that I took when I got back home. You can see he was pretty aggressive. I had quite a few bruises all over my body. As you can see here, sorry the quality is really bad, but prints on my arms. There's a bruise on my wrist just there on my left side, and another bruise there where he was holding me down. I did have some bruising on my legs as well, but I don't really want to show those pictures as it's like quite, you know. You guys can also check out and Caroline's videos for her story as well.
We would like to mention that all of this is alleged information. The mugshot that we viewed earlier in this video came from different people, not from an authentic official source. However, these stories somewhat corroborate, as numerous people recalled the same instances and revealed the same pattern of abuse. Multiple individuals who knew Gemini before his rise to TikTok also came forward, revealing that he had always been a violent and shady individual. One person who had a close relationship with Gemini and knew him by his real name, Paul, even made TikToks claiming that his downfall was inevitable. According to him, Gemini had exhibited predatory behavior since his college days, when he was arrested on multiple sexual battery charges after countless women reported him. His disturbing actions eventually led to his expulsion from campus, further proving that his misconduct wasn't new. It was a long-standing pattern of abuse. And if you think all of this backlash stopped Gemini from approaching underage girls, you are wrong. A few months later, another girl merely 14 years of age posted a few TikToks discussing how Gemini approached her and flirted with her for days. She showed multiple Snapchat screenshots of their conversation, including the one where she clearly told him she was 14. Even after finding out she was underage, Gemini kept calling her gorgeous and suggested they should know each other better. Calling a 14-year-old gorgeous and flirting with her is disgusting and bad, but Gemini did not stop there. He sent her shirtless pictures of himself, commented on her breasts, and even asked for nudes.
He asked me for nudes. And then I just ignored that again. Proceed to post on my story, just me, feeling nice in an outfit. He messaged me again. This time I was not expecting the message I got a message saying, "You've got PH80. If you don't know what that means, don't get it wrong, it's a good thing. Another minute or so goes by. Listen, if you don't want me to say this shit, then don't post teaser pics on your story. Here's kind of proof that he did that because I said lol. He said like bruh.
At this point, it's crucial to emphasize that this girl had no idea that Gemini was 21 years old, or that he had multiple allegations against him. She was simply a fan who had been following his content for a long time, unaware of his predatory past. Like many young followers, she admired him, saw him as an influential creator, and had no reason to question his intentions. However, Gemini, fully aware that she was a minor, took advantage of the situation without hesitation. In the screenshots she later shared, she would be seen asking about his age, to which Gemini lied, claiming he was 17, when in reality he was 21. For a while, she believed him, until she Googled his name and discovered the truth. The realization that she had been deceived and manipulated left her feeling betrayed and uncomfortable. When she confronted Gemini about his real age, rather than admitting his deception or taking accountability, he twisted the entire situation to his advantage. He manipulated her, downplaying his lies and making it seem as if it was all a misunderstanding. His ability to gaslight and deflect blame were eerily similar to how he had handled past accusations, showing a clear pattern of predatory behavior. By this point, it was evident that Gemini had perfected the art of deception and emotional manipulation, preying on the trust and naivete of young fans while carefully avoiding consequences.
How old are you, by the way? I don't know, LMAO. Sonny sends me another picture before saying 17, saying that he's gonna get in the shower with eye emojis. I was like, okay. He answers me with 17. But in all his pictures, I started to realize that he had a beard. And I mean, I know 17-year-olds can grow beards, but it doesn't really look 17. So I Googled it, and he's 20. He's 21. I ended it there, blocked him. I could not. I was like too afraid. Today, I got this message. Basically, he asked me why I blocked him. I was like, you've done this to other girls, 15 to 17, and you lied to me saying that you're 17. Joe, because I literally told you I was 21 and it was saved in the chat. It wasn't. You kept telling me that we should entertain each other, saying that it was a joke is just weird. See, there's my proof that he said we should entertain each other.
He told this girl that he was not sexually interested in her and accused her of misinterpreting his intentions and twisting his words. In reality, we all saw how he asked this girl to send said suggestive things about her body, and lied to her about his age. All of this indicates that he had sexual intentions for her.
Warren, I'm really sorry this is going on for so long, but I need to get this out there. I've seen TikTok and I just don't trust you anymore. I'm sorry. You're making it seem like I wanted something sexual and I didn't. That's fine if you don't trust me. I understand. This man's really just said that he didn't want anything sexual. Mate, you asked me for and you told me that my tits were humongous.
That's
I'm really sorry, but I can't. No, you're lying. You're psychotic. If you go to a minor and tell them that their body is amazing and they're amazing and ask for them for that indicates you dumb.
So this was the last allegation that surfaced against Gemini. At this point, his original TikTok account with over 3.7 million followers was taken down from the platform. He was officially banned from TikTok, and people assumed the drama had finally come to an end. However, a short while later, he reappeared on TikTok with another account. In 2021, he made an official comeback with an account named @OfficialGemini. But unfortunately, this time, TikTok did not welcome him with open arms. He had made many enemies, and the entire TikTok community was against him. A few creators, including Papa Gut, were actively making videos about him and monitoring his every move. So it was no longer very easy for him to gain traction and slide into the DMs of vulnerable girls. Even though he managed to gain thousands of followers in a short time, his new account did not survive on the platform for long. Merely a few months after creating a new account, he was once again banned from TikTok for good. As far as we know, he did not try to return to the platform again. Gemini's tale is a stark reminder of how social media fame can spiral out of control and expose you for who you really are. When he first appeared on TikTok, he tried to hide behind comedy skits and entertaining videos, but could not hide his true colors for long. It is terrifying that social media, especially TikTok, gives characters like Gemini a platform where they can build an audience and exploit young people. We covered numerous predators and pedophiles on this channel who found their prey on TikTok. This platform is becoming a hub for these twisted personalities. Because of its ineffective and rather lousy policies, Gemini's story highlights the darker side of social media, where predators can exploit their influence without facing immediate consequences. Despite several victims coming forward, TikTok's algorithm repeatedly removed their videos, protecting Gemini from backlash. Even after he was banned, he quickly returned to the platform, revealing the platform's ineffective moderation system. This delay in action raises concerns about TikTok's commitment to user safety. Parents should stay vigilant about what their children are exposed to online, ensuring they engage with appropriate content and avoid interactions with adults who may have harmful intentions. Social media can be a great tool, but it's crucial to educate kids on how to stay safe in a digital world. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel and tell us what you think about Gemini's story in the comments section below.